These are 20 of the most ridiculous moments in MLB history. And first up, this woman becomes the ultimate Karen.
And there's a foul ball for her. Oh, she took the ball. Juan Miranda tried to give it to the little gal, and she took it from her.
Took it right from her.
That's a different type of evil. Just like number 19, where the ball at least was up for grabs.
Batter. And Webster hits it fair down the right field line and into the corner and into the Giants bullpen through the fence. The door was open.
Next time, maybe someone other than this guy should be in charge of the door. Now for number 18. One player does something I've never seen before.
Base hit right field, but they're going to have to hold Jeltz at third. Oh, and now the ball gets away from O'Neill. He kicks it to Benzinger.
Yeah, somebody get this guy some cleats. He needs to join a new league. And so does Bartolo Colon, who's in a league of his own.
He's just keeping the ball away from Board the whole game. He wants to get it.
Their ball. Behind the back flip, and he got him. Oh, wow. It's so easy for Colon.
No wonder this dude's nickname is Big Sexy. But he's still not finished. Because at number 16, he isn't just a beast on the mound.
For his first hit of the year,
He drives one. Deep left field. That goes Upton. Back near the wall. It's out of here. Bartolo has done it.
And yeah, it may have taken him 2 minutes to round the bases, but that gave his teammates enough time to get out of the dugout to celebrate with him. Talk about hitting a home run when the odds are stacked against you. Just like number 15, because this should be impossible.
High fly ball, right field deep. Canseco back to the track. Look it out. He is off his head, it looked like. And over the top. A home run. That looked like it hit Canseco to the top of the head.
Dude really took keep your head in the game to heart. But as crazy as that was, number 14 is something I never thought I'd see. Because Brian Dozier was close to a game-tying home run when the Tigers' #1 draft pick decided to change everything.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, hard to center field. Team goes back. Still going back. To the wall. Tie game.
Ball stuck.
It's stuck in the wall.
This dude has got to be one of the unluckiest players of all time. But not as unlucky as this bird from number 13. Yuki's hit at 102 miles per hour? That thing is gone. Unlike number 12.
Is that a catch? It's in his mask. Ball never hit the ground on a foul tip. 2 strikes.
Thankfully, his mask prevented this accident from turning into a full-blown tragedy. But sometimes accidents aren't even caused by players, like in number 11.
Well, the boys in the audio room. Yeah, that's on you. It happens.
Talk about a poorly timed needle drop. But all right, we've reached the top 10, so we need to take this to a whole new level. And what a better way to start than with the time an MLB fan decided to make an unannounced drop. See, during Game 6 of the 1986 World Series, a diehard fan parachuted into Shea Stadium carrying a Go Mets sign. And when he landed, the entire stadium of over 55,000 spectators erupted in wild applause.
We took the expression, why don't you drop by, literally and figuratively.
That's about the only way to beat the traffic in this town.
One ball and everybody got a kick out of it.
Now, obviously, he would be escorted off the field, but not before getting a high five and criminal charges. See, the parachutist was sentenced to 100 hours of community service and a $500 fine. But that was later changed, because this dude refused to reveal the name of the pilot who flew the plane. So his sentence was quickly changed, and he was sentenced to 6 months in jail. But this wasn't the only time a game was delayed because something flew into the stadium. Only at number 9, the things that took flight had a bit of an extra sting to them. Because on April 30th, 2024, a Diamondbacks game was delayed by a swarm of bees.
This is what we saw right after our pregame show concluded and the bees began swarming, and obviously that's an issue. No one knew exactly how long it would take. Pest control is on their way, but not here in the ballpark yet.
Shortly after the bees were found, Beekeeper Matt Hilton was called in to assess the situation and safely remove them.
The Beekeeper made his way, a grand entrance onto the field here. He was greeted by a standing ovation by the fans here waiting to see if this game would ever get into the books.
Not only was this dude given a standing ovation, he was lifted 30 feet into the air just to get to work. So you know the crowd had to give him his flowers. And after he successfully removed the bees, he was invited to throw the ceremonial first pitch.
A ceremonial first pitch before a Dodger Diamondbacks game. How's that feel?
That was pretty cool. I can't say I've had that experience before and probably won't again, but it was pretty awesome.
This was a positive spin on something that was coming in between the fans and the game. But the game of baseball isn't a stranger to interference, because on April 16th, 2007, the Red Sox were facing off against the Angels. That's not the face-off we're focusing on. This is Dan Kelly, and this is Jason Soul. See, these two hadn't gotten along during the game, and near the beginning of the game, things would start to escalate. See, Soul and his crew started accusing them of smuggling their food into Fenway, and then in the 7th inning, JD Drew popped a foul ball towards Soul and his crew, which caused one of the most viral moments in MLB history.
Here's Cabrera now coming as Anderson, and interfered with no. Into the stands, the umpire ruling Tim Timmons and one beverage less than they had before.
Yeah, Angels left fielder Garrett Anderson tried to make a play, but it bounced into Soul, which had the whole stadium wondering, would the ump call a fan interference or not? But that's when Kelly stepped in to deliver him the perfect gift.
Buddy, what did what was that came flying in? But I'd be kind of ticked off myself if somebody fired a pepperoni pizza at me. That was unnecessary.
That really was uncalled for.
After the incident, the security guards showed up to escort Dan, the pizza chucker Kelly, out of the game. But sometimes when legends get ejected, they find creative ways to make it back inside, like in number 7.
The pitcher to go down. Runner going, they pitch out. Piazza's throw, not handled. And it's a stolen base, number 21 for Shannon Stewart.
Wait a minute now. Uh-oh. What happened here? Did he make contact with the glove?
I think Bobby Valentine might be arguing that in an attempt to protect the base runner, Stewart stepped across home plate.
Let's see if he crossed off. Like, you can make contact.
During a game against the Blue Jays, Mets manager Bobby Valentine was ejected for arguing with the home plate umpire. But Valentine wasn't going out that easy, because moments later, he decided to try and pull a fast one and walk back to the dugout in a masked disguise.
Bobby Valentine's dugout. Well, Bobby was thrown out on that catcher's interference call, and he's gone incognito. Sorry, Skip, we got you.
But it didn't take long for the umpires to notice. He was suspended for 2 games and fined $5,000. But Valentine isn't the only manager who's a little unhinged. So is number 6. Tommy Lasorda was the manager for the Los Angeles Dodgers from 1976 to 1996. And he had a bit of a reputation of being hot-tempered. And there's no greater example of that than the time Lasorda flipped out and attacked the Philadelphia Phillies mascot, Philly Fanatic, for taunting him.
He's out there as the Philly Fanatic has a stuffed mannequin. You see the physique of the mannequin. Tommy's a little bit hot, I think. Is he going to move that over and now look at him go?
If you're thinking that was the only time Lasorda pulled a stunt like this, you'd be wrong. Because in a game against the Expos, Lasorda took his anger out on a different mascot.
And third base umpire Bob Davidson is throwing Youppi out of the ballgame. Tommy Lasorda has put up a complaint. This will draw the ire of the fans.
Call security and remove him from the ballpark.
Wow, we've seen it all now, huh? Youppi's been thrown out of the game, off the Dodgers dugout.
To this day, Youppi is still the only mascot to ever be ejected from a game. I guess there's a first for everything, which is certainly true for number 5.
In 7th inning, Doc Ellis working on a no-hitter.
Doc Ellis has put 9 men on the bases, 8 walks and 1 hit batsman. With 3 outs, separate him and a no-hitter. 0-0-0, where it says San Diego.
See, this might look like your standard baseball game, but this one is special for more reasons than one. For starters, Doc Ellis pitched a no-hitter, which is crazy on its own. Only the game was seen in a completely new light when it was revealed that Ellis was tripping on LSD for the entire game. In fact, Ellis would later admit, "I was zeroed in on the catcher's glove. I remember hitting a couple of batters, and the bases were loaded 2 or 3 times. The ball was small sometimes. The ball was large sometimes. Sometimes I saw the catcher, sometimes I didn't." Yeah, imagine being a pitcher and not being sure which way to throw. But Ellis wouldn't be the only one who wasn't sure which direction to go.
Harrison will pop between second and third. And he will run right out. Harrison will try and stay in a rundown long enough to get Polanco there. Safe. He's thrown the rundown. And he is still safe. Unbelievable! No way!
in a million years thought I'd see that. But we can't talk about a million without talking about Guyleen Hoyle at number 3. In 1999, Hoyle won 4 tickets to an Arizona Diamondbacks game that would change the course of her life. After winning the tickets off of a radio station, she was tasked with picking which Diamondbacks player off the roster would hit a grand slam and in which inning. She picked Jay Bell in the 6th inning, a 1 in a million shot. Flash forward to the 6th. Bell is up to bat. Bases loaded. He knew the stakes. One more swing.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet Arizona's newest millionaire.
And with that, Jay Bell won Guyleen Hoyle $1 million. Bell and Hoyle remind us that miracles can happen, but number 2 brings in a reality check. Sometimes the odds aren't in your favor, especially if you cheat. On July 15th, 1994, the White Sox were facing off against the Cleveland Indians. But before the game, the White Sox received word that Albert Bell from Cleveland was using a corked bat. So the White Sox manager Gene Lamont went straight to the umpire to explain his suspicions.
We're checking the bat right here of Albert Bell.
Is it corked?
Could it be?
It might be, as they're looking at the end of it. And of course, there is an art to corking the bat correctly. What they're looking for right now is a little cap on the end of that bat to where the drill goes in, and they take the wood out and insert the cork.
The umpires seemed to confirm Lamont's suspicions, but per the league's rules, they confiscated the bat and locked it up in the umpire's dressing room for further investigation.
They're going to take this bat and probably x-ray it.
There's a good guy to give it to.
Well, Vinny will take care of it. I'll tell you that right now. That bat will not get out of his hands. How high-tech can you go today? Hey, Vinny, go back and x-ray this bat.
Normally, things would end there, but not in this case, because Cleveland were cooking up a plan to get Bell off the hook. During the 6th inning, the organization asked Jason Grimsley to sneak into the umpire's dressing room through the ceiling and replace one of Bell's bats with one of Paul Sorrento's. Grimsley succeeded in his mission, but left behind mounds of evidence. When the umpires returned to the dressing room, they found bent ceiling tiles and chunks of false ceiling around the room. Not to mention the bat that was now in their possession actually had Paul Sorrento's name on it. Yeah, Cleveland was caught red-handed. And after the investigation, they were told by the commissioner of Major League Baseball to hand over Bell's bat or face prosecution. But things didn't even come close to getting as out of hand as they did in number 1.
Disco sucks! Disco sucks!
Disco was certainly dead for those who piled into Comiskey Park on the day Disco Demolition Night was held. The original intent for the event was simple. DJ Steve Dahl was going to blow up a crate of disco records on the field, and tickets to the game would be sold for a measly 98 cents for those who brought a disco record with them to be demolished. The promotion brought people to the stadium in droves. The place was packed to the brim with 50,000 people or more in attendance, and after the first game, it was time for the main event.
Between games, as planned, a huge box containing thousands of disco records was blown up.
The explosive Dahl setup tore a huge hole in the outfield, and moments later, fans began to rush the field.
It was unplanned. Fans stormed out onto the field in the thousands. Disco records were hurled like frisbees. Bonfires were set. Bottles were thrown. The batting cage was torn down and destroyed. Fistfights broke out. White Sox players had to be locked in their clubhouse for their own protection. The melee lasted an hour and a half and resulted in 39 arrests and a few minor injuries.
After the explosion, people went berserk. Batting cages were destroyed. Grass was torn. Bonfires were started. Fights broke out. Thousands of people were rushing the field. It was absolute chaos. And after all was said and done, the field was in such disarray that management couldn't get it in working order for the next game. The result? The White Sox had the forfeit.
The umpire-in-chief and the president of the league has declared that the playing conditions on the field will not permit them to play the second ball game.
Yeah, disco might be dead, but it sure is destructive.